What's up, y'all? It's JS Method, or Coach JS, you guys may know me as, and today we're talking about the biggest indicators for success in clients that I've seen as a league coach. So players that have, league graphs like this, all the way from silver, all the way up to high diamond in a very short period of time, people who tend to get good results and keep them. I'm going to tell you guys about what I see in these people before the jumps, right? So these are my favorite people to coach. They're my favorite people to interact with because I love that these guys get results. I love seeing results get had. So let's get into it. The very first and the biggest green flag of all time for anybody playing League is intent. And what I mean by that is literally just having intent with each action you do, always asking, why did this work? How can I make that happen again? Why did this not work? How can I do it in a way where it will happen again? What am I supposed to be doing in this lane? How am I supposed to be playing the trades? How should I be going about this? What are our win conditions? Constantly asking why and constantly having a goal in mind and testing things out and just all the time trying to make things work. This is what makes a really, really good league player. So I found this really cool picture of this dude writing down notes because that's part of it, right? If you're able to kind of just write down notes about why things worked and why things didn't, you'll get better results, right? Now these people, the reason I believe this is such a green flag is because if you have intent and it goes bad or wrong, well, then you just change your intent next time. And eventually you're like through that process, you're really utilizing the feedback, right? The issue is a lot of people let the game happen to them rather than them going out and trying things and limit testing. They let the game happen to them. Well, then it's like, if you let the game happen to you, the feedback's useless. You don't know if you dying or you losing or whatever is your fault. But if you have intent, you know it was on your hands. The game is on your hands. The wins and the losses are on your hands. The deaths, the CS, the lane phase, it's in your hands. Have intent, go figure it out. So the way that you can kind of facilitate becoming an intentful person is to hypothesize, right? Be a scientist. Go through that scientific method that you guys learned in elementary school, right? First step is hypothesize. Have a hypothesis, right? And what that means is have a goal in mind, right? Can this work? Or I believe that this matchup should play out like this. And then play it out and see what happens. And then adjust your hypothesis. Either you confirm it and you're like, great, this is how I play that matchup. Awesome. Or it's incorrect and you can adjust it. You're like, I actually died at level 2. So maybe I don't get to push this wave in. Or maybe I can't take this all in. Or maybe I really don't want the short trades, right? So be a scientist. Have goals and ideas for each part of the game, right? Know your win conditions, understand how the matchup should play, understand the trade patterns of both the people, understand your cooldowns in relation to their cooldowns. Just have a hypothesis for how the whole game should play, and then where your hypothesis falls short because you're not getting the results you want, fix your hypothesis, and then do it again. And over time, with that scientific method, you kind of fall into the correct way of playing. Right. I remember watching this clip of Kobe talk about developing a basketball game. And he was talking about how, he kind of asked himself, like he reverse engineered it. He was like, okay, in my mind, I'm visualizing the most powerful basketball player, just the most potent player to play against, who's just incredibly unstoppable. What does that look like? Okay. Now, what can I do to create that? Right? What are the steps I have to take? What does this person's life look like to create a beast of a player? Right? You can kind of do the same thing in this game, in this matchup. What does the ideal look like? Now, how do we get there? Right? And then you just keep trying ways to get there. And another way to facilitate this is constantly asking why. If you're able to just ask why things happened, why did your bot lane die here? Why did your jungler get invaded here? Why did you die? Why did you get a kill? Why? I remember a challenger LAN player actually came into my stream once and he was like, yo, and I was like platinum at the time. I was gold or platinum. And he was like, man, my biggest advice is constantly ask why. When I asked why, I really started to climb and I never really stopped. Ask why. When you think you know the answer, go deeper and ask why even more, right? When you're like, why'd they get the dragon? And you're like, well, it's because I died here. Well, ask why you died there. And then when you figure out why you died there, you're like, well, it's because I took a bad trade. It's like, well, why were you in a position to take a bad trade? Well, it's because I took a bad back. And you realize you losing that dragon actually happened like 4 minutes before. It's all a domino effect and it all builds on each other, right? So continue to ask why, really get into the details and have some intent, right? So intent is like the number one indicator for success in my mind. The second one is straight up just passion, right? You have to enjoy the game. If you don't enjoy League, and actually I get this question all the time. People are like, well, should I quit? Or what if I just don't like the game? Don't play, right? Or a lot of people will say, hey, JS, I don't like the hustle and bustle of trying to climb. I don't like all the grind shit that you talk about and all the yo, put in work, that kind of thing. It's like, that's fine. If you don't like the idea of climbing the mountain's a hard thing, right? I view the League ladder as a mountain, and it's a hard thing to climb. If you don't like the process of trying to climb the mountain, then don't climb the mountain. Either play for fun and be hard stuck for your whole life, because that's what happens, right? I don't want that, so I don't do that. But some people don't mind it, right? If you don't mind being, and that I was like that originally. When I first started playing, I was an Irelia one trick, and I just played Irelia, and I was bottom of gold 4 for super long. And then Irelia got reworked. I stopped having fun. And I'm like, well, how can I still enjoy this game? I started to play competitively because that really showed me what League had to offer. But if you don't like that, you don't have to like that. That's okay. It's okay to not be a competitive player. But understand your goal is not rank in that case. So don't get upset about the ranked games. Don't get upset about being hard stuck. That's a consequence of not liking the climb. So just play for fun or quit playing the game. Really, just being excited to play the game is such a big indicator for it prevents burnout. It allows people to keep playing. My favorite example is Annibot. He really just enjoys Annie. He really just enjoys playing the game. I was looking at the highest mastery, like the people with the most champion mastery. And Annibot is number 7 with 11 million mastery points on Annie. And Annibot's not the best player. He's currently in Diamond 1. He's a worse Annie player than I am. But one thing that I really respect about Annibot is he loves the game. And he just chills. He chills so hard. Like, he just streams on Twitch, and he just streams to 1,000 good current viewers, and he just chills and plays Annie. And he does it for like all day, every day. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see somebody just enjoying the game like that. He doesn't play competitively like I do. He has like 4 times my games and is lower ranked than me on the same champion. But it's like, he's having so much fun, you can't fault him for that, right? So the way that he chooses to experience the game is much different than the way that I choose to experience the game. And I have like a supreme respect for that, especially because it works, right? He's at a good enough elo. He's streaming to 1,000 people on Twitch, right? He's so much more famous on Twitch than I'll ever be. Like, it's super cool. And he just chills and really loves the game. Like, I love that. So how do you facilitate it? And believe it or not, you actually can facilitate your enjoyment for the game. And one of the biggest ways that you facilitate it is find little things to be grateful for and little things to enjoy. That's when I really started to climb. When I really started to enjoy the beauty of lane phase and the beauty of like micro and F keys. Like, one thing that I really like is F keys. I really like when the camera is like super jittery and it just like flicks to top lane and you space it back and it flicks to your jungle and you space it back. Like, I love that. It looks so cool to me. And I really use that to snowball me into good mechanics, right? So now I have relatively high APM compared to NA players and Masters. And I have, my camera control is super good compared to most people in Masters. And it's because I just found a way to really enjoy that. Like, I just like how that looks. I'm a big LS fan. LS likes it a lot. I'm like, oh, that just looks so freaking cool. So I got really good at it because I really enjoyed that. Find little things that you enjoy. You may not enjoy putting in the work, but you can enjoy what it looks like and say, well, I really want what that looks like, so I'm going to put in the work. Other ways that you can facilitate this is like play stuff you like, right? In terms of the ranked ladder, you can make anything work. You can make anything work on the ranked ladder, right? If you want to get to Diamond, if you want to get to Masters, you can make anything work. Play whatever you want, right? Try to stick to a small pool. Like, ideally, don't play lots of things if you want to climb, but play things that you enjoy. People are like, JS, how do you play Tryndamere and Annie all the time? They're so incredibly boring. And it's like, dude, first of all, I think Annie's boring, yeah. But I really like League, and they're so simple that they let me enjoy League without trying to fight against my controller. And also, I really like auto-attacking, and Tryndamere lets me auto-attack. So it's like, I just enjoy League, man. So of course, I don't mind the simple champions because they let me experience League with the least amount of friction. Well, some people really like the tediousness of Draven axes, right? Like, that's something that I'm like, that's tedious. Why every single game you play would you limit yourself to picking up axes all the time? But some people just really, they're like, oh man, I fucking love this champion. He's just so cool. Great, play him, right? Play stuff you like. If you're a Draven player and you just need to have that tediousness happening all the time, don't force yourself to play Annie. You'll hate the game. And if you hate the game, you quit playing. And if you quit playing, you don't climb, right? So just find ways to really enjoy what you're doing. And the last part's pretty simple. If you don't enjoy the game, literally stop playing. There's a lot of people who don't enjoy the game, and it's like, take a break. Take a week break or even a month break. And then at the end of the break, ask yourself, do I really want to come back to League? Or am I just coming back because my friends play and I feel like I've spent so much on League, I might as well keep playing? It's like, if you really don't enjoy the game, it's not worth it. So take a break and see, are there things you can enjoy about the game? So that's the second biggest green flag. Pure passion for the game. Pure enjoyment. Okay, now the third thing, and this one's really big. This one's responsibility. And I actually mentioned this in yesterday's video, which is kind of the opposite to today's video. It's like the biggest red flags in players. In that one, I said people who blame teammates. This is kind of like the opposite of that. Responsibility. Being able to take extreme ownership for yourself is so powerful. It's so incredibly powerful. And being able to kind of understand that you're the common denominator in your games. Yes, you may lose individual games to your teammates, but over the course of 100 games, that's your win rate is up to you. Whether it's 30% or 70%, that's up to you, right? So a lot of it is kind of being able to take responsibility for your gameplay, understanding that sometimes you lose even when you play well, but to climb, you have to play well consistently. So figure out the games where you play bad and fix them. Another part of this, and I have this down here on how to facilitate this, is search for your impact, because you have a much bigger impact than you think you do. I remember I boosted one of my friend's account not like a while ago, and he was looking through it. He's like, man, it doesn't look like you carry at all. But I had like a 90% win rate over like 50 games. He's like, man, you don't carry at all. So like, you must have been getting carried by your teammates because you didn't carry at all. You just got lucky. And I'm like, you seriously thought that I got lucky? First of all, I'm smurfing like 1,000 LP, right? Like it's like 2 entire divisions below me. And you think for 50 games straight, I just got lucky with a 90% win rate over 50 games? You seriously think that, right? So the fact that people can ELO boost through your ELO means that like there's things that you can do to make your chances of winning go up. So another way that I visualize this is like ripple effects in water, right? So anybody can see the initial droplet, right? Like let's say you die. Now anybody can be like, yes, this is bad. You died. That's the initial droplet. They're like, oh, that's 300 gold. Oh, whatever. But then it will take a higher elo player to understand, well, you dying actually allows your enemy to roam and it gives them a timer. So it actually hurts all of your other laners by you dying. Well, an even higher elo player will be able to say, yes, that's bad. That's true. And since you died and then your teammates died after you and it's kind of desynced, well, now your tempo's off. So now you guys have to waste another 30 seconds either matching up your tempo or you're all going to die again. So that hurts all of you again, right? So it's very common that a gold player will not see these ripple effects. And they'll be like, oh, my team's so bad. But it's no. If you made higher quality decisions and you constantly had these positive ripple effects with every single play you're making, none of your teammates would lose ever, right? And obviously sometimes they still will, but like 70% of the time, 80% of the time, they will just not lose, right? But if you're doing these ripple effects that are hurting your teammates, no wonder you have losing teammates all the time, right? I coach a lot of mid and jungle players, and for mid and jungle especially, it's like, dude, if your teammates are losing, whose fault do you think that is? Oh, like, if your teammates are losing all of the time, it's not all of your teammates. It's you. You're the common denominator. You're at the center of the map. How do you think that you impact everybody else, right? Like, I used to have a client, he hated playing against Katarina. And he would perma-freeze into the Katarina, and the Katarina would go bottom and get a triple kill. And he's like, oh, my bot lane's so bad. Katarina just went bottom and got a triple kill. Like, oh, why couldn't my bot lane see it? It's like, dude, you froze into the Katarina. No wonder she went bottom and got the triple kill. That's what she does, right? So don't freeze into a Katarina. No shit, your teammates are going to lose in that situation. So a lot of this is taking responsibility, even for things that you don't think are within your control. Take responsibility for it, because there is always more you can do. You can always have more positive ripple effects. You can always ping more. You can always communicate more. You can always facilitate your teammates making the right decision. You can always shot call harder. You can always be a better player. Oh, whoops. All right, we got a little passionate in this video. But anyways, you can always do more. So take responsibility and understand that our goal is to find out what more we can do. Search for your impact. Search for the responsibility. Seek that responsibility. And don't waste time blaming your teammates, because it's a waste of time. It's inefficient. It doesn't help you. Hopefully you guys appreciated today's video. Make sure you guys check out yesterday's video, biggest red flags in teammates. It's kind of like the opposite of this video. It's like, you know, those are the people that I really can't handle coaching. Like the people that, oh, they're super annoying to talk to, because it gets really kind of productive really quickly. So make sure you guys don't have those. Make sure you guys facilitate these. I hope you guys appreciate it. If you guys made it to the end of the video, drop me a comment. Let me know what you thought about it. Say 17 minutes or however long it ends up being. I hope you guys appreciate the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great night. Peace.